Hello everyone, welcome to 3ddesignacademy.com. In this lesson, I'm going to continue with part 3 of the Ferrari design project review. Okay, so in the previous lesson, I finished up by, working on this fender over here. So I'm going to go ahead and make some modifications over here because, obviously there's a little bit of gap between the surfaces. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this. I'm just going to, I'm going to leave this edge as is. So I'm just going to duplicate this edge over here. Actually, you know what? Let's see if I can extract the curve over here. Looks like the top one doesn't really have it. So let's just go ahead and do a fit curve like this. I'm just going to make it into a degree 2 just to make it simple. And I'm going to do the same thing over here as well. Actually, you know what? I do have a surface over here, so I think I'm going to just use that. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to recreate it because I do have to refit the existing, to the new edge over here. So I'm just going to delete this one over here like this, and let's just do a bi-rail. So I'm just going to pick this one as a this one. Oh, actually, you know what? I should probably attach it because right now there's a gap. Okay, so I'm just going to do that. And actually, before I do anything, I should probably bring that surface. I can't remember if it was supposed to be curvature or not. So you know what? Let's just start a new session of alias. And let's bring the previous one back just to check it. I shouldn't have deleted it. So let's just bring the other one. Okay, so I'm just going to check if it's supposed to be curvature or if it's supposed to... Okay, so it looks like it is supposed to be curvature, which means I will probably make it out on one sheet. Okay, so let's just check the continue over here. Okay, so it doesn't look like curvature. So in a case like these, I would actually build across the center all the way through, but... Oh, okay, so this one... that's a little bit interesting how it's built. Okay, so you know what? Let's do this. So if that's the case, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to align freeform blend and go and just align it to this edge over here. I'm just going to say connect ends. I think connect ends will be best. And I'm going to say modify range, and I'm just going to bring it over here like this. And for this one, you can do connect ends. It doesn't really matter. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that it's curvature on side 1 and position on side 2. Now that's where it looks like the CV structure is a little bit off. I don't know why it's doing that. Could be because of the underlying structure over here. So yeah, let's just leave it like that. Now, because of the difference over here, it's probably going to rise up a little bit as it goes towards the outboard side, which is fine. But I do see why the creator for this model made a decision to patch this into 2 pieces. Okay, so if that's the case, I'll just leave it. All right, but let me just bring this down though. Okay, and delete the COS over here. Now, to recreate this edge, of course, the only thing you have to do is just project. And I'm just going to go ahead and trim. All right, and in order to fill this space in, I'm just going to use a bi-rail. So it's going to be 1, 2, and 3 over here, like this. I'm just going to use a curve segment to bring the edge back to, essentially a similar location like that. However, with this one, you do have to be a little bit careful because this does have to be curvature lined. Actually, if that's the case, let's do this. Now, here's a little bit interesting part. Actually, if this is the case, this is where things get a little bit tricky. If I was to just make the whole thing out of one sheet, I think this would have been easier, but because it's actually segmented, I don't know if this is the best approach. So you know what? Let's do this. I think I am going to make it out of one sheet, just to keep things a little bit simple. Because right now the problem is if I were to align this curvature over here, so let me just do an explicit control and just make it out of maybe 5 degrees like this. And if I were to just do curvature on this one, it's going to sink down. Well, actually, you know what? It's not that bad. Okay, if that's okay, so well, let's just do that. Okay, so I'm just going to make it out of degree 3 over here, and this one is also going to be degree 3. Oh, okay, so it does do this. Yeah, never mind. Okay, so let me... Well, if I actually... Yeah, it would be ideal if I make this, make the whole thing out of one sheet so that just a clean build. So what I'm going to do is, well, first of all, I am going to duplicate this over onto the other side. And let's just go ahead and build a curve for the front. Like that. I'm just going to snap it over here. And I'm just going to try and mimic the front over here like this. Now it doesn't have to be exact, but it should be pretty close. I probably won't be able to make it that flat, but let's see how it does. And what I'm going to do is, well, let's just do a bi-rail like this. I'm going to say 1 and 2 over here like that, and let's take a look. Okay, so of course this is going to have a much cleaner build. Okay, actually, you know what? I do need a curve for the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect the dot from here to here, like this. And let's just make it either a bi-rail or a square. But I do prefer a square, so let's just do that. Okay, so, oh, let's just go ahead and do that. Explicit control off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just control these edges so that it's sort of close over here. So I'm just going to pull it forward like that. And let's just project from the top so that it's as close as possible. So I'm just going to project over here. And over here using the curve from Z. And I'm just going to check the location like that. And maybe I'll just bring it down just a little bit more. As you can see, the C was getting closer. Okay, so I think that's pretty good there. Now, it's not going to be exact, but this is going to allow me to achieve a much cleaner build. Now, what I'm going to do is adjust these edges over here. So let's just go ahead and pick this CV over here, or pick this curve. I'm going to just make it out of degree 2 just to keep it simple. I'm just going to drag it down until it's somewhat close to the edge over here. And I think that's pretty good. So now I'm just going to project using, well, actually, you know what? I should probably just do an intersect. Okay, so the highlight, well, actually, you know what? The flow's not bad. Okay, so I said that's good. All right, but I am going to chop it in half. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to say delete construction history, and I am going to extend this a little bit over here. And let's just go ahead and project like this over here. And I'm just going to extend the COSs over here so that I can trim it. Yeah, that's actually not that bad. I'm kind of surprised. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do the rebuild. Now, the height of this one is going to be a little bit off, but that's okay. I think, well, it's going to be a lot more natural. Now, I do still need to cut it, so I'm just going to bring a COS or bring a curve over here. And let's just snap it. Well, there's a fillet over there, so I'm just going to do a little rotation like this. And this one I'm going to retain similarly to where it is before. So let's do this. I'm just going to hide these, making them invisible. I'm going to retain that, but let's just go ahead and just hide these surfaces over here. Okay, so now, oh, actually, I should retain that. So what I'm going to do is, so for the front edge, I'm just going to do a COS and I'm going to do an insert. Now, that's it, however, I don't think I see the front. So I'm just going to grab this from the back and I'll just transition from somewhere around here. I think that's good. I'm just going to extend this one back like this. And let's just go ahead and use this curve over here to project from the top. So I'm just going to project like this. And of course, it does have to go all the way through the end. So I'm going to go ahead and just extend this one. I don't know why there's two surfaces there, or there are two surfaces there. So let's just go ahead and delete one of them. Oh, actually, I like the other one better because this has too many. Oh, I keep grabbing the wrong one. Real surface delete. I'm going to extend this one. I'm going to go ahead and intersect over. Oh, I don't want mapping. Go ahead and intersect it like this. I'm going to trim this piece over here. And I'm going to trim this one. Now, before I trim that though, this does have a little scoop kind of like shape. So what I'm going to do is, well, there are several methods, but this is the one that I'm going to be using. Actually, before I do that, let me just untrim it first. And I'm going to do an insert again. Just get it close. It doesn't have to be exact because it's going to be curvature continuous anyways. And I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate onto the other side. This one I'm going to delete for now. And let's just project this from the top, from Z, like this. Actually, I should go ahead and do this one too. So I'm going to say edit duplicate mirror. And I'm just going to go ahead and project it from Z again. And now I'm just going to do a trim convert like this. There we go. And let's just go ahead and show surface deviation. It's not exact. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to crank up the degrees like this, maybe 4 or 5. What you want to do is you just want to make sure that this is degree 3, but everything else is pretty close. Because I do want to retain curvature on this one. Okay, so I think that's good. And what I'm going to do is now, well, trim it back. So let's just grab a curve over here like this. And I'm just going to project. And let's just go ahead and extend that back a little bit and go ahead and trim. All right, so that's good. So now, here comes the neat part. So in order to create that little scoop-like shape and the washout over here, all you have to do is just duplicate this edge. Well, you do want to make sure that it's curvature though. So let me just do that. It's curvature. That's perfect. I'm just going to bring this down to whatever height that is desired. Let's use this as a reference. So I think that's pretty good. So now all you have to do is, well, first of all, let me just delete all these. Actually, this one I'm going to put it over here. Yes. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and select position, align, and that's all you have to do. So now you got a nice progressive washout over here. Now, depending on how aggressive that you wanted to have it, of course, I did bring up the volume over here, so it's going to be a little bit different than the previous one, as you can see over here. If you want this to be a little bit more aggressive, what you can do is you can always increase the number of degrees to 4 or 5, and just do a blending in 1 and 2 like this to have a little bit more, I guess, a little bit more dive down over here as well. Really up to you. Or you can, if you want to really linear, just a progression over here, you can just make this position and just put a filler between the two. But since I think this is, well, let's just go ahead and take a look at this. I do think that it's diving down like this, so I'm just going to keep whatever I have like that. All right, so now I'm going to do a fillet. Now, if you don't want to fill it like this, that's fine. But if you're going to fill it like this anyways, I think there is an easier way to do that. So what I'm going to do is going to show you guys 2 methods. I'll do the easy one, and I would say I'll do the Y fillet one too. Actually, you know what? For this exercise, I think I've done enough Y fillets. So let me just show you a very easy way to do this. This is probably not class A surfacing, but well, it's easy to achieve a design fillet. Okay, so first of all, let me just trim this one because I don't really need it anymore. And I'm just going to go ahead and trim, and let's just delete the construction history like this. And what you want to do is you just want to copy and paste this curve over here. And just move it out like that. And you can do a little bit of rotation like this, depending on how smooth you want the transition to be. And just project it like this. Now, what's important is you copy and paste these curves so that they are complementary to each other. Same thing with this one. You want the surfaces and the distance between this one and this one to be complementary and very family. You want a family of curves. All right, so now that's done. All you have to do is just click this one, click this edge, and just do G2 on each side, and that's it. Now, this is a very easy method, and to be honest, it actually highlights pretty nicely. As you can see, the washout is really nice. The only problem is I would actually prefer to the Y-fillet method, but just so that I can control the fillets nicely. But if you're just in a hurry and just block it off, this is all you have to do. So super nice and easy. All right, so yeah, I think that's it. Of course, you do have to realign all of these surfaces over here, so you can do that. So let me just do a rail, quick rail. So I'm going to say duplicate over here. So let's go ahead and do a one-on-one. Let's go on a rail here. Oh, looks like COS. So you do want to make sure that it is actually positional. Same thing over here. And that's it. And you get your design back. The surface structure is a lot cleaner. So I think much better overall. All right. Actually, before I was going to finish it, but let's just do this. If you look at this one, you'll see that there's a weird shading over here, and that's because that there are multiple CVs joined at an edge. Essentially, you're making a triangle, which is not desirable. So in this case, there are a couple of things you can do. I guess the easiest method is, well, just delete it. Actually, you know what? Let me just hide it like that. And it's just run a rail. Parallel like this. And that's all you have to do. So now you actually have a square. You've got a four-sided edge. And, well, let's just check the continuity. Oh, okay. So it looks like there is a little bit of continuity issue, but I'm not sure if it's because of this one. What do you know? I think it is because of this one. So in this case, let's see. You do want to make sure it's curvature. So I'm just going to grab this one, just make a curvature like this, edge. And I'm going to, oh, that's, well, okay. So if that's the case, just curvature. Looks like it doesn't. So let's just go ahead and align. Partial. Okay, so I think it actually might be due to the number of degrees. So let's just crank it up. There we go. And there we go. And it's actually curvature, and highlight flow is nice. You don't have weird. Well, if you are concerned about this, what you can do is you can always create a curve too. But I think this looks good enough. Actually, you know what? Let me just check. If it's intended to be flat. Oh, okay. So it does have the same structure. So I think that's good. All right. So as a finished touch or finishing touch, all you have to do is just trim this. So since this is blocked off over here anyways, I'm just going to grab this one. Snap a curve like this. Project from the top. And that's it. All right. Other areas look pretty good, so I don't think I really need to go into that. But that's how you would, well, essentially fix up a design model. Okay, so that is the final part for the Ferrari design project review. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time. Want to learn more? then become a member at 3ddesignacademy.com, where you will find hundreds of video tutorials ranging from basics, including car creations, intermediate level tutorials such as this wheel, all the way to Class A modeling of the interior car exterior. Interested? Visit 3ddesignacademy.com.